Unscripted here with Lindsay Olvera. And do you want to go by Abraham? Is that what you
Yep.
go by? Yeah. So Abraham Longoria here, soon to be licensed to Abraham Longoria. And
Yeah.
beautiful fiance Lindsay Olvera, who's already part of the Van Dale Group, brokered by eXp Realty. And we're going to be talking about VA benefits and buying a home. Does that sound about right? Is that the direction we want to take this tonight?
So I wouldn't say that it's VA benefits because it has nothing to do with the VA. It's just it's a benefits that's entitled to veterans. So yeah, the VA has nothing to do with it.
Okay, and explain. What do you mean?
Yeah. So it's an entitlement. Well, it's a benefit that you could say that every state has for disabled veterans. Again, every state is different. So the way that I came across this and was able to figure this out was one day,
I did. I overheard a conversation when I was working at the Arsenal between two veterans that if you had a certain rating for disability, that you were qualified to be exempt from property taxes. So I started asking them questions, and then so he started digging deeper, being that he's part of that.
Yeah, so pretty much once she said that, kind of sparked my interest, and then I started digging around. So what I found out was that because we were on the fence of where we want to live, Iowa, Illinois, everybody says property taxes in Illinois are higher. Cost of living in Iowa houses, should I say, the market is higher. So it's just preference or kind of what you're okay with. So we started looking around. Came to find out that the differences when it comes to property tax exemptions in the state of Illinois is that there is different tier brackets. So if you're a veteran with certain disability ratings, there's different benefits. So one of them is, so you have a military veteran who is between 30% to 49% disabled. That in that first tier is that they take off $2,500 off of the assessed value of for property taxes. So again, just the assessed value, not the appraised value. So for the next bracket,
in Illinois, the assessed value is roughly 1/3 of what your property value is worth.
Correct, exactly. So it's 1/3 of the market value of your house. So the next tier would be 50,000 to 60. I'm sorry, 50% to 69%, and what
disability, right?
Disability rating of 50 to 69%, and for that tier, they would take out 5,000 off of the assessed value of your property. So if you have a disability rating of 70 to 100%, then that would give you total exemption from property taxes in the state of Illinois. So
okay, so when I started and I said VA benefits, I was completely wrong. This is actually benefits for disabled veterans.
Correct. Yes, this has nothing to do with whom you acquire your mortgage loan through.
Okay.
Correct. So again, and then whenever we're talking about disability ratings, more specifically 100%, there's a difference when you have 100% total and permanent, and then you have just a regular 100%. So in the state of Illinois, in the month of January, you have to recertify every year, pretty much proving that your disability rating hasn't changed.
Okay.
To be able to qualify for these exemptions. So in order to so for total and permanent, you only have to sign the paperwork and just acknowledge that you still live in the residence. You do not have to provide any additional paperwork. So total and permanent pretty much means exactly what it is. It's not going to change. This is going to go on for a long period of time. It's permanent. Mm-hmm. To compare to somebody who's just 100%, but that's not total and permanent. That can change, from one day to the other. Your disability rating can drop. So what the assessor's office does is that they require proof just to show that you're still at that percentage disability rating, which they could get that from their VA website. Okay. So
That's just Illinois.
That's just Illinois. And there is a limit. So it's not like free range. I can just buy a $10 million house and get tax exemption. So there is a limit. So again, we're talking about the assessed value. So the assessed value limit that they're for the state of Illinois is 250,000. So which is equivalent to a house that's 750,000, give or take. But so there is a cap. And if your assessed value reaches that amount or goes over, then you're fully responsible for the property taxes on that house.
Okay.
So it's not like
just to
the whole thing.
So if you're a veteran that's looking to buy in Illinois and you have any sort of disability rating, you go by a tiered system and you can claim property tax exemption. Now, is that total property tax exemption? So you don't have to pay any property tax if you're 100% disabled?
Correct. Between 70 to 100%.
Okay.
So and for me, that was an open when it.
Where would a homeowner that has that exemption, that disability exemption, go to claim that credit?
So to go through
the process of an exemption. So I'm kind of screwing up my words because this is totally new to me. So
right. Well, so what I did is because obviously whenever we were getting ready to buy the home, this is something that I wanted to make sure that I understood fully and was able to understand, because I didn't want to jump into a situation where I thought one thing and it turned out to be another. So I called the assessor's office while I was in the process of purchasing this home, gave them the property's address. They went through, checked the records, and they were able to verify with me that the house did qualify for this exemption. So the steps of going through to get the exemption is once you obviously purchase the home, I went over to the tax assessor's office, provided your DD-214 copy 4, which every service member that gets out of the military is familiar with. And then you also you need to get your service-connected disability rating letter, which again, you can get that letter from the VA website that they should have access to on their own. And or if not, then there is a VA representative in the same building where the assessor's office is. And they were able to print that letter off for me. Went up to the assessor's office, provided my documents. Also, they obviously needed to have record of purchase from the home. But I literally went the week that I purchased the house, so they didn't have all the records updated yet. But that's standard on their end. They get those documents because the lawyers file those into the records. So then just fill out the simple application, just that I understood for the taxes. And that was it. About 4 weeks later, just called to follow up. The tax assessor's office was able to verify that they had all the documents that they needed and that my exemption did, in fact, go through. But there is just a little bit more to it, because it's not, hey, I purchased a house and then next month I'm exempt and I'm not paying property taxes anymore.
Because the way they pay out.
Correct.
If you're a financial institution.
So
the way it works is, and I'm just going to use my personal, I guess, experience for the example is because when you purchase a home, the property taxes that are paid for the previous year, or you're paying for the previous year. That's the correct way of putting it. In arrears, correct. So in the year of 2020, when we moved into the home, we were still paying on 2019 taxes. So whenever we were going through closing, one thing that I just want to mention is that, and again, every institute is different, but the way it was done on my end is
you got a credit.
I did receive a credit for the property taxes, because obviously you're not going to pay for the taxes that you didn't for the house when you weren't living in it. So it was a credit to me as the buyer.
Your tax proration, which is available to everybody, not just disabled veterans. So yes. So you got
correct. So I received the tax proration, and again, that was part of my closing costs and all that good stuff. So again, moved into the house in October of 2020. But again, my tax exemption hasn't kicked in yet, and the reason being is because in Illinois, they receive the new taxes for the next year in May. So in May of 2021, when the taxes come out for 2020, it'll still, since I purchased the house in October of 2020, I'm still not going to be exempt yet because there's still a period for a year, about what's that,
So you need
10 months.
like a full calendar year in order to claim that exemption. Okay.
Correct. So there is still going to be taxes that's going to be owed for 2020, but that's what I'm paying, into my escrow for, into the property taxes. So my first full year of being taxes, and won't be until tax year 2021, which would be May of 2022.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
So yeah, you need a full calendar year of those property taxes in order to get that exemption activated.
Correct. By the time everything is flushed out and the year starts, correct.
Okay.
So again, so that's kind of in a nutshell the Illinois option. So and now when we're talking about Iowa, so
well, before we go to Iowa, I just want to make sure and clarify for those that are watching this that this has nothing to do with VA whatsoever. So even if you're a veteran, disabled or not, and you get a VA loan or VA mortgage, has nothing to do with this. So you can go conventional, you can go FHA, you don't have to go VA.
Correct.
As long as you're a disabled veteran, you are correct. Eligible for this. Okay.
Yes, that is correct. And again, a lot of this information is available to you online, but at the same time, I like to hear it, I guess you could say, from the horse's mouth. So I'd like to call the assessor's office, ran through a scenario like 100 times. Are you sure? Are you sure? And so again, this is something that anybody can do. And that's just, wanted to make sure, because again, I didn't want to go into a situation that I thought one thing and turned out to be another.
Okay. Makes sense.
So,
and then Iowa, how does it differ than Illinois?
Yeah, so when it comes to Iowa, there's a pretty significant difference. So in Illinois, where you have different tiers, where you kind of get a little something on each tier for different disability ratings. In Iowa, you have to be 100% total and permanent to be able to rate this a tax exemption in the state of Iowa. So again, just want to reiterate on that total and permanent. So you have to be total and permanent to be able to get that exemption. Mm-hmm. If you have something different other than 100%, what they do offer is a homestead credit, which is $191 off of taxes, and then they also do a $75 military or veterans discount off of taxes. So again, but to receive the full exemption, you have to be 100 total and permanent. And then also, just like Illinois has a certain limit in the Iowa side, they will only cover up to half an acre of property. So if you have more than that, they will still cover only that half an acre. So you can still have it.
Is there a monetary limit too, or is it just based off of the acreage?
There's no monetary limit. It's based off of the acreage.
Okay. But it sounds to me that if you're disabled a disabled veteran at any level, that it's more advantageous to go to Illinois than to Iowa.
Exactly. Yes. No, definitely. Like I said, for us, it was a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer, and just like being a veteran myself, would say that because your disability rating could change from one day to the next, so there was definitely more
comfort.
Yeah, there was more peace of mind on the Illinois side, that even if it were to change, that
we'd get some
sort of break. So it's so for us it was a no-brainer at all, which also was a huge, makes a huge difference whenever you are in the market and looking for a house, right? Because if the property taxes is something that you eventually you don't have to worry too much about, then obviously you have a little bit more room to go bigger, I guess you could say, or have more income.
Makes perfect sense. So the reason why we're bringing this up today is because I myself, I've never served in the military, and thank you for your service, Abraham. Never done that. And when it comes to like benefits for disabled veterans or financing for that matter, like it's something for myself, and there's close to 1,000 agents in the Quad Cities right now. I highly doubt that every one of those agents are well versed in what's available and what's not. and having your insight and, you know, your personal experience with it is completely like super beneficial to those that that are purchasing and trying to make up their mind whether they're going to Iowa or Illinois, into Iowa or Illinois. And you know, I think it's a great benefit. You know, Lindsay's already on my team here at EXP. Abraham is actually getting licensed right now and soon to be on our team as well.
Don't know where.
So any of you veterans, disabled veterans alike that are looking to buy or, you know, invest in real estate or possibly looking to get into real estate, you know, definitely look to Lindsay and Abraham as a resource. And I'm looking forward to having you on the team.
Oh, definitely looking forward to it. Likewise. Thank you very much, Ryan.
Yeah. Do you have anything else that you'd like to add to this subject or?
No, just again, just
make informed decisions.
No, just I would just say, like, you know, don't take my word for it. You know, if this is your first time hearing it, do the research yourself, look into it. And, you know, I'm never one to just, you know, even if it's a reliable source, I still just like to look it up for myself and make sure that it's, I guess you could say, legit, right? So again, just to do your own research for sure, because all of this is available. You know, be aware of your assets, right? Assets that are available to you. So.
Perfect. Well, I thank you for your time tonight. I know it's like after 8 o'clock and on a Tuesday. We're supposed to be shutting down for our families and stuff. So I thank you so much for doing this tonight, because I think it's going to help quite a few people that are, you know, in the same boat and trying to decide which side of the river is best to look at, especially when you have that disabled status as a veteran. So I thank you for this.
No problem. Looking forward to being able to contribute more to the team. Like, I know I got to go study now. So.
The pressure is on. So if you're looking make sure you contact Lindsay Olvera and Abraham Longoria. So I'm looking forward to it, man.
All right. Yeah, definitely looking forward to it too. And talk about it every day. So.
All right. Thank you for your time.